Man, I love how quick people are filing into here these days. It is 17:30 UTC. I like to use that UTC time so you can just have a universal time that we can all agree on. It is December the 15th, 2021. We are just 10 days away from Christmas. No matter what you're celebrating, yeah, it's always December is always a nice time where we round out the year. Just kind of think about all the blessings and everything like that we have. And yeah, we got some good ones to talk about today. That's too much sleigh bell, less sleigh bell.
No, cowbell.
It went on for too long, man. I needed just in and out. What's going on, Smart Rick? How you doing this morning?
It's been a busy morning. It's been a good morning.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah. How did you guys did an AMA over in the Telegram part of the world? How'd that go?
Was good. It was a text AMA, which I've never done before. So it was interesting, but super cool. They had this like anxiety filled segment at the end where it was like, we're gonna open up the room, and it's a room of like thousands of people, and they're like, you're gonna pick 5 questions. And then so when they opened it up, like it was just bombarded with questions. I'm like, but it was
Were they
fun.
rewarded questions where like if their 5 questions got picked, they got some kind of reward?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah,
that adds an extra element.
Christine texted me and she was like, help, help, help. Like,
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, thousands of questions, help.
So I used to run some things on Telegram that were similar to that, where we would have rewarded if you're one of the 5 questions that were picked, you got rewarded, and they would get heavily botted. Okay, so people would basically load up their questions, and you guys can tell me whether the questions were like this, but many of the questions were like, "This seems like an amazing project. Can you tell me about the NFT?"
Yes.
Right.
So yes. So I had like a hard time sorting through because I was like, what? These are like a lot of the same ones, but it was like worded differently. But
Yep.
It was like, I could tell it was like either I didn't know if it was bots or not, but I was like, this is strange.
There was
fun.
There was one that she sent me that didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
I want to read it just so you can hear it.
Please do. Yeah, I like this.
Where is it?
It was about a car.
It was about a car. Yeah, I was like,
I was like, is there a car that I don't know about in TRADERVERSE?
Yeah, the TRADERVERSE Tesla. That's some alpha.
Yeah, that is some alpha. I want to drive around in my TRADERVERSE Tesla. It can be wrapped. Yeah, it can be wrapped to look like that. But yeah, we would do that. And so I was on the other side of it. I was, I was telling the person I was interviewing to, hey, pick out 5 questions, and they were having anxiety about it. And sometimes they would just tell me, you pick 5 of them. And they would just get so anxiety filled. And I, like I said, always felt it was botted. And probably, 4 of the 5 people that won was probably the same people. It's probably 2 people that ended up winning.
Yeah, so. That makes sense when you say that, because I was looking through the questions. There's a bunch, and I was like, wow, these are, I don't know if they were listening, or I don't know if they were reading. And then second, the way they were typing them out.
Are you ready for the question,
yeah.
DeFi?
Well, oh, yes. Hit us hard.
Okay. Let me pull it right back up. All right, so it was in #TRADERVERSE, a rental system that allows users to rent unused items in 2 modes. Can you explain about your hiring system? What is the 2 different methods? What conditions should a user face in order to rent a car to other players?
So I read that and I'm like, what? So I had to like exit Telegram for like a quick second and send it to Zach. Like, I'm like, can you help me with this? There's like cars.
It's the newest thing on our roadmap. We're actually going to do it.
Yeah, to say, Christine, you're not keeping up. Yeah,
I know.
You were in the meeting about the used car lot that we bought.
Yeah, how
the
come I
used
was in
car
the meeting about renting out cars?
The NFT car lot we're buying. It's going to be really cool. Call it TRADERVERSE Taxi.
The real pivot. Yeah, the real pivot, social media network, completely game changing, having everybody together. No, that's out the window. Now
we're pivoting hard.
that would be that would be a huge pivot. So yeah, you see that at the top, I've got the metaverse is hiring, and I want to talk a little bit about, different careers in the metaverse, because I do think a lot of, various professions that we might do in the real world might be still available for us in the metaverse than more than what we can think about. But the other thing that I want to talk about today, which I didn't put as much into the title, but I probably should have, and that's, I want to talk a little bit about community today. Ooh, sounds like I've been drinking community today. Yesterday we had a good discussion. We started really going off, and I don't want to go off as much on the 8 Kids Club today as we did yesterday, which, by the way, those of you who have the profile pics, I see you. But what it really got into is just how much a community can be around an NFT project. And there was an article that I was looking at this morning on CoinDesk that says crypto is about people and culture. And it's time that the media see it that way, because they only see chart go up, chart go down. That's the only thing that media seems to be able to see. And maybe by an extension of that, regulators and lawmakers, maybe that's the only thing they see is chart go up, chart go down. But crypto may be more about community and culture than anything else. So I guess maybe the person I should bring up here is Smart Rig. Zach, I feel like you're the subject matter expert on communities around projects. Do you agree with that that's what crypto is about?
Yeah, I would say that it's Web3. It's a crypto NFTs, especially NFTs. It's about the media. It's it's the best way to explain this is like, look at Pepsi and like Budweiser. They did NFT drops. They didn't go very well, and they were like just really kind of selling a collectible, like a baseball card kind of thing. But they didn't have any like hidden access to why it was important. And you're seeing these Bored Apes and what they're going for these days. And then you look at other companies like Adidas trying to get in and partnering with them, paying them a bunch of money to get access to the community that they have. So yeah, I think it's the companies that are really trying their best to break into this Web3 space that need to do it the right way. And like I was telling you guys all this morning, that one of the guys in the house was like, Lucky Charms wants to do an NFT project. They want to talk to somebody about that. And do you want to talk to them about how to do that properly? And I was like, I mean, that sounds magically delicious to me.
Frosted Lucky Charms. So I think we're getting to a point to where every major brand feels like they'll get left behind if they don't create their own NFT project.
Right. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I think that's like the feeling in the room is like, oh, we need to capitalize on this. We need to do this. But, I think that with the NFT lines, like the way they need to position themselves, they need to like really make it an exclusive club. Like you get some sort of something for not only buying the NFT and supporting the brand, but like as being a member of this elite club. Like from a marketing perspective, think about it this way. Like I'm Coke, and like I give away free limited edition Cokes or merchandise every time you send a care package to your community. They're going to market the crap out of it for you for free. Like, and everyone's going to want to go in. You're going to make royalties off OpenSea for people wanting to get in this club, where now you just reinvest into the community and you have a huge hub of people just super happy and super marketing your brand in the best possible way.
What you're describing sounds a lot to me like what I imagine, like if I'm a really major, TikTok influencer and I get sent care packages, from different brands. I don't, but one would get sent various packages. Yeah, thank you. I need some consulting. But yeah, you would get these care packages with the expectation that I would then get those care packages and, say like, oh, thank you, Coke. Thank you, Lucky Charms, for getting me this. And then I would share it amongst my social media feed. I guess, is that what they're hoping with like an NFT project, or what you're saying, if they make a community around it, that the people that own the NFTs will then play that influencer role?
I mean, especially when you look at like humongous companies, right? Like you're looking at the Cokes that are billion-dollar companies, or Pepsis or Budweiser. Like they don't need the $5 million NFT mint. They don't need that for their balance sheet. So like the marketing that they would get, the genuine happiness from people all over social media would really help them in their status or their reputation towards you or I. And I think that's what a lot of these companies are struggling with in today's world. And Web3 gives you an opportunity to interact and have a genuine experience with your customer. And I think that's the benefit of the company, and then being a member of the community, is that you have all of this free alpha swag and all the other fun stuff.
But does it have to be a company that lends itself to community? For instance, I don't know many people that are like so crazy about like Lucky Charms that they have, Lucky Charms posters and Lucky Charms trading cards, and they won't quit talking about Lucky Charms. I don't know anybody quite like that. So, if they create an NFT, are you able to make a community around, whatever brand of NFT around, if there normally aren't, people that are that sold into the concept? I love Lucky.
I love Lucky Charms. So when I was 14-year-old, it was my favorite cereal. I grew up a little bit. Now I take Captain Crunch, but
way to be an adult.
Yeah. Fruity Pebbles had a nice piece in my 20s, and now it's all about Captain Crunch. So
downgrade.
Downgrade. Oh,
I agree with Fake. That is a complete downgrade.
Oh, so bad.
Good way to butcher the roof of your mouth.
Hey man, I gotta feel alive somehow.
Why don't you just move to Grape Nuts and go on and just go full adult?
Well, I think there's enough people in this room, and I think one of the cool things that NFTs does is it really pulls on your like nostalgia heartstrings. You know, regardless if it's a retro project or a brand that you grew up with, like it's super cute and gamey, and like you know, for someone to like Lucky Charms, let's just keep that example going. Like if they have 10,000 NFTs, I'm sure there's 10,000 fanatics of Lucky Charms, and you know, if you proudly display what you're going to be doing with your community, like what the added perks are, I'm sure there'd be people who are kind of fans of Lucky Charms that would want to buy these things.
So let's look at it from like a stock perspective for some of these bigger companies like Pepsi. Do you think investors in Pepsi, you know, so I'm talking stock there, are happy to see that, oh, they're doing an NFT project and therefore somehow that brings more value to the company?
I mean, I think it does in the way that if they do it right and people are really happy with it and the community is vibrant and people are shouting from the rooftops about how they have a Pepsi NFT and what they're doing with it, that's great promotion, makes a lot more noise for Pepsi in a good PR way where, you know, it could help the stock price. More people will buy Pepsi.
I think what you said earlier is what I think is completely necessary for these, and that is that there's got to be some exclusive perk that you get by holding the NFT. If it's just, and this goes with maybe just the wider NFT selection as well, is just it's not enough just to have cool art. I don't believe that is enough. I think you still have to have utility, and maybe on top of that, it gets to be partnerships. I want to hold the Pepsi NFT or the Lucky Charms NFT or whatever, and I want to feel special by getting it because I'm probably not showing it to my friends about, hey, check out my Pepsi NFT, brah, and you know, expecting them to think that's cool. If they instead see my Pepsi NFT and they say, oh, what does that get you? And I say, oh, actually, I get on an exclusive list. They send me I don't know, this sounds stupid, a 6-pack of Pepsi a year. I don't know what I'm coming up with here, but I get some kind of free product, some kind of free swag, some kind of access into something that I wouldn't have got. Maybe they're partnered with some concerts or something, and therefore I get into that at a discount or free. I want to feel like I'm part of a community, and that to me is what can help move a stock price, because now I feel like, okay, I'm part of this unique club, and it's one of only 10,000 people that can even own one of these that get these perks. Now I feel like I want to be part of that community, and then I want to share it on social media and give, and that will in turn will give the marketing.
Yeah,
that
when
these big
Pepsi
brands want.
decides to sponsor the show, we can help them with the utility of their NFT. We could maybe say like only holders of the Pepsi NFT could get Pepsi Crystal.
Oh, Crystal Pepsi! You're
only way you can get it.
And
Did anybody see how tone deaf like the Pepsi Twitter was like the day after they started releasing those? Like the next morning they were like GM and WAGMI. They were saying it to a bunch of other like NFT like big brands and stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was really funny. It's like one of those fake it till you make it kind of things.
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very fellow kids.
Yeah, you could tell by whoever was in charge of their Twitter handle. Like it was just, everyone was like, this is cringe. Like, who's behind? They're talking like they're us. They're not us. I'm like, oh,
you guys got any jewel pods? Like,
is that how you go?
I don't know, man. That's what I hear.
So we spoke in the jewel. Yeah.
You guys want to go Healy in the park?
Healy.
Oh hell no!
I brought that up the other day on OTC Club Spaces, and I was like, "Oh, you remember the Heelys?" And everyone was just quiet. I'm like, "All right, like never mind."
Heelys NFT, hit me up.
Yeah, we still wearing Jean jeans?
Oh man,
huh?
I think you're showing your age there, DeFi.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, but no. People don't realize that I can hold like an entire laptop in my back pocket. Okay, so. That's actually, I was never a jeans wearer. I was either too cool or not cool enough to pull off that look. Yeah, my pants weren't quite that baggy even in the 90s. So yeah, I definitely am showing my age now. So I will hush up lest I sound like the Pepsi guys. But I think whenever you've got a company that's putting in an NFT project that's trying to sound all they are one of us. I don't think it's a good idea anytime to just start like using the lingo immediately. You're going to get, if you do that, then people immediately, like they did with Pepsi, are going to say, you're not one of us. Okay. You're obviously just, trying to use the lingo and think that we'll accept you just for that. It's not that easy. So do you think a lot of these companies need to use like a consultant or something like that to be able to get into the space and know what it's
A
like?
vocabulary consultant in the metaverse.
Yeah, I think every big brand should hire a 17-year-old kid to run their social media.
Yeah, that's part of the interview. They're gonna be like, all right, so you're gonna have to define all of this metaverse slang really quick. You have about 10 seconds to tell me the definition of
And then
each
we go,
word.
then we go into memes, and so now it's like choose the appropriate meme for the appropriate reply.
For this situation.
I like that. They like hear a situation and they're like, oh, girl looking back at fire.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. They're like, and that brings us to our subject that we brought up, right? Like the metaverse, real estate, which I'm super duper fascinated about and would love to know more on. Like, would it be like very meme driven? Like, oh, that house is sold now, so, and then you're like, oh no, I wanted that house, and you would use that meme.
I feel like you are good at I feel like you actually have some talent into this as
We're gonna,
real estate broker
we're
to the
Going to
metaverse.
be a better real estate broker.
we're gonna
Exactly.
see,
I want to.
NFT benches of Christine in the Decentraland.
Yeah, with the photo. Yeah, with a photo with my arms crossed. Like, are you looking for your forever home in the
It
metaverse?
would be
Let me
forever
help.
too.
Your
Yeah.
PFP actually already kind of works for you. You don't have your arms folded. If you just put like Century 21 next to
I swear it does. Yo, I swear it does.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
I swear it does.
Yeah, it would really work well. But yeah, so for like careers in the metaverse, exactly what Christine was saying. Yeah, you could, you need somebody to like understand the lingo, understand the culture and everything like that. And that's important. But there's a lot of other things that you can do inside the metaverse. Although I don't think you can do everything. I was in a Spaces the other night and somebody said they think you could even be a barber in the metaverse. I don't know that I agree with that. You guys think that's a thing?
If your avatar, right? Like if they create your avatar where the hair grows every day or something, you're going to have to get a haircut.
So you're telling
Okay.
me that I could grow hair again in the metaverse?
Yeah,
Did
in the metaverse.
I cannot
Yes.
wait, Mark. Where is this?
What's up, Crypt Keeper?
I know you could contract for the dudes from Roblox to build on your land. I read
Yeah,
that.
Sandbox. Sandbox is
crazy.
the same way.
Yeah,
it's the same way.
Sandbox,
Like,
yeah.
if you have enough money and you can buy land, they have a group of developers that will build anything you want.
Wow.
You hire them out, like
Yeah,
but
just like contract.
Yep, they have. Yep.
Wow.
So like that's how like these big like rich guys who are buying like huge plots of land in the metaverse, like they're literally just like, here's a 3D drawing of what I want and what I want to do, and they build it for them.
what
Amazing.
a different experience that would be.
And Roblox supposedly has like a contract with Sandbox that they're like exclusively contracting like to build on the land for people that want to get, like, I looked into it. You got to email them, and it's just like buying a brand new house from the start, from the ground up.
Like,
you got to email them. Yeah, it's crazy.
What about metaverse inspectors? Like, are they going to come through and like make sure your plumbing's okay? And
right.
This thing is not to code, ma'am.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, so how would your water run? Huh? You didn't think about that. I'm not gonna check that over.
That outlet has to be 3 feet from the water right there. That cannot work. That is not
burn down the metaverse.
So
Yeah, but
for sure, there is going to be real estate brokers in the metaverse for sure. And that's what I was wondering right away: is will there be realtors? And I was like, because I want to do it.
Yeah, like
I think there for your, like, let's just say, and this is what I think you could do I think you could do it right now. Is, let's say I'm a prospective home buyer, metaverse buyer, and I go to you, Christine, my realtor, and you ask me your first initial questions of like, well, where would you like to live? What type of people would you like to live around? Do you want to be in an island type of environment, or do you want to be in a more techie kind of environment? And then you tell me what blockchain and what metaverse might be good for me. It's kind of like looking of like, oh, this one's near good schools and things like that. But instead, it's what's around.
This is the information for the HOA.
There could be an HOA.
100%.
How much do you have for a down payment?
Right. Well,
is credit scores like a thing here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was kind of messed up with that one.
That was so funny.
Well, I mean, what if you have to borrow the funds to be able to get your
Right.
play in the metaverse?
A metaverse loan.
Yeah. I mean, obviously loaning in DeFi is a thing, right? So there'd be all of the bad things about the real world could be put into into a metaverse as well. I think we just need to pick and choose and make sure we don't bring a bunch of like evil things. I shouldn't say evil, but intricacies of the real world, and not just put them in the metaverse just because they're in the real world. But
it's crazy because you see these lands, they go for just as like I could buy a land in South Carolina right now cheaper than I could buy a land on the metaverse.
Yes, that's very true.
Like
it's crazy, and I just hope that they don't like have like road construction and like in the summers like.
There's going to be politics too in the metaverse because remember we had that one who made their embassy in Decentraland.
Barbados, right?
Barbados, yes. Yeah, Barbados, so they're the first embassy. They created the first embassy on Decentraland, and I bet you there's going to be politics, and they're going to be like, oh, I'm the mayor of this like area, I'm the president, I'm whatever, and we're going to have do votes with DAOs. Like this is just going more and more. Everything's linking together. All our things that we had asked before, they're starting to link it all together.
That's gonna be crazy. Like that's crazy.
Hey everybody.
What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to add, when you were talking about inspectors and plumbing and electrical and all of that, it reminded me of SimCity, where you have to have like all of your water connected and like water towers and electricity plants and everything. What if it really is like that? Like there's some sort of electrical company and they try to monetize it, and you can't have your neon sign on your super extravagant metaverse house unless you're connected to that grid. Like that's insanity.
They will do that because they will want to capitalize on everything. Like, oh, so you're saying we just get paid again in this like digital world and like capitalize on billing everyone and just creating just a secondary world that we all live in, and they need to pay their bills and they need to keep up with everything, and we can just create more wealth here. Yeah, awesome.
What I worry about is people in real life, not making it, but trying to just ball out on the metaverse. And like you can't make your car payment, your house payment, but you're just balling in the metaverse. Like there's gonna be people like that for sure.
Oh, for sure, right? They're like, I didn't really make it in real life, so I'm gonna try in the metaverse life, and I'm gonna max out all my credit cards. Fine.
Is there gonna be welfare in the metaverse?
Section 8.
Section 8. That's gonna be my real estate job. I'm gonna be like, do you need Section 8 housing? Or
but I mean, you're basically making kind of a hierarchy, because let's say you go to the one that needs all the water connected, like SimCity, like y'all were just saying, and you go to the one that needs the no neon signs, and then you go to Christine and she's your realtor, and she's like, that one takes a minimum of 25 ETH to even get in the door, and you're like, okay, that might be a little too much for me. And next thing you know, is there a ghetto now where it's like, okay, this is an area that you could probably live in on this one. It's a little cheaper.
But there's a waiting list, a year waiting list.
Your waiting list to get into
and
that.
And then a credit score is your social credit score on how you are, like what your reputation is online. You guys better start thinking about that.
We're going mirror here now.
Yeah. Certified trader, sorry, we saw your hand up.
No, what I was just going to say was, I don't know if you guys have heard of EXP Realty, but they already have real estate brokers in the metaverse right now.
Do they?
Yeah, if you look up EXP Realty on Google, and they literally have pictures of the metaverse on the website.
Okay, what are the qualifications here?
Christine, don't sign on with an agency. You just need.
She's like, do I need to have a cover letter?
Well, and also, in the real world, it's like 6%, 3% from the buyer, 3% from the seller. Is it the same thing in the metaverse, or is it more or less? I don't know. If I spend that 25 ETH for a land, does Christine get 6% of that total transaction? Which, hey, good for you.
Yeah. Do I?
Sure.
That's the new gas fee. That's the new gas fee. Yeah.
Who's going to try to create a metaverse of the metaverse?
Whoa. Well, that's creation theory.
That's
some Inception shit right there, guys.
Yeah.
That's very Inception. So I log into the metaverse, and I go into the metaverse, and I find my computer within the metaverse or my VR set, and then I get into another metaverse inside there.
Correct.
And then how many times inside the metaverse do we have to go until we realize we're already in a metaverse?
Ooh.
I think we need like 10 seconds of silence for this because my mind is blown.
Thank you for teeing that up for me. I needed to have a I've had
Little
that X-Files
X-Files.
music for so long. Yeah, I haven't been able to use it, but finally someone gave us we're already in the metaverse. So yeah, if that doesn't get some X-Files music.
We're in a really real one.
Like, can you rob people? Like, this shit is gonna be bad.
Well, it's gonna be like GTA. I mean, there's gonna
Yeah,
be the
it's gonna
GTA.
be like, I don't want to be held at gunpoint for my Ferrari or Rolex. Like,
Right.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
like
I wonder if they're going to allow that. I bet you there is, and then there's going to be so much more jobs. There's going to be policing in metaverse, and they're going to be like, "Hey, why are you standing around right there late at night by yourself by
So,
the ATM?"
guys doing?
is it gonna be 420 friendly? Like, what's going on? Like, can I sell some bud in the metaverse?
Has anybody else thought about like the aesthetical changes to it? Like, I think I didn't watch like the whole Zuckerberg thing, but there were like memes that he like looked like really corny, like he looked like a Fortnite character, and like it wasn't really like believable. But like eventually, like there'll be ways to like patch the metaverse and update it, and like graphically everything improves
Right.
over and over and over again.
Well,
I don't know. It's really interesting to think about.
There's been a concern that said, you could be addicted to the metaverse in that everything would be visually. I mean, you've seen some like video games right now.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought this up. Not to cut you off.
No,
I
you're
talked about this the other day on like my own spaces that I do about. If anybody remembers, there's probably articles about it. But if you go back to when did it come out? Like 2009, when Avatar came out, not the cartoon, like the actual like James Cameron film. There were all these reports that like people were getting like depressed after seeing it. Because like it was so fantastic to them and like otherworldly. I think you'll see the same thing with the metaverse, just because like anytime somebody who like I think you guys were just talking about like not making it IRL, like they'll go off reality to try to like have a better life somewhere else. They get addicted to it, right? The stay-at-home moms get addicted to Farmville already in the same way. No diss on any stay-at-home moms in here, but like I don't know. I'm sure that you'll see it. I'm sure there'll be like mental health repercussions. Like these are like the little things that like the not so glamorous parts about like massive multiplayer communities and things like that people don't about. But that all has to come with it. Like there's going to be a dialogue about that down the road for sure.
There will be good and bad. For every addiction, it's probably replacing another addiction, right? Whenever anxiety in real life is so bad, right now people turn to alcohol or drugs or whatever. Just like you said, maybe now they turn into the metaverse and they have that kind of as their new addiction. But counterpoint, somebody that has crippling social anxiety, and I can tell you this, I don't know that I have just full-blown social anxiety, but I'm very much better in front of a microphone talking to strangers than I am talking to people.
I was going to say, I don't get that energy from you on here at all.
Well, but I do. Whenever I get in front of somebody, I don't know. It's something about the eye contact. I feel awkward. I feel so getting into something like this is very good for me. I feel like it gives me that social interaction and all that stuff. So I think there could be a good side of the metaverse too, to where people that have, social anxieties and things like that they may be better off in there. Matter of fact, I feel like I'm probably better speaking in real life than now that I do this all the time rather than before. So it kind of gives me able to work on social skills.
Nice.
Same.
Like
Yes.
I know on LinkedIn as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed or if you guys go on LinkedIn, but there's a lot of people that say like, is your company ready for the metaverse? Like, please contact us, like blah, blah, blah. Like you want to stay ahead of the curve. So like, obviously if they're putting that on, that means like a lot of major companies are worried, just like we're talking about Lucky Charms and everything. Like they want to not be left behind.
Right. No, I agree with all that stuff. And kind of to what Fake's point was, like, look what Instagram has done for the image of, 18, 19-year-old girls. And like, now what is the metaverse going to do to people? Like, I guess there's a part of me that's like, well, you'll be able to be whatever you want to be if you have enough money, just like it is in the real world. But, it'll be interesting to see what the psychological impacts of a metaverse will be. But I think there'll be a lot of good, like DeFi said. One of the jobs that we haven't really spoke about that I think a huge utility in the metaverse is schooling. Just think about the cost difference of, having a teacher anywhere in the world teach a class from anywhere in the world. No school, no physical building, there could be a huge cost savings to the governments for doing this as well.
Just use the Zoom, no? Use Zoom for the same thing.
I ain't gonna lie, but for me, when the whole pandemic thing happened and my daughter had to stay home, that shit was horrible. I'm definitely not a teacher, and my patience is not that great. So, and maybe for older kids it's fine, but I know for a 6-year-old girl that has more energy than a lot of other 6-year-old kids, it's like hard for a parent to keep their kid at a table or at a desk looking at a computer and trying to learn rather than be hands on.
Sure, no, I get that too, because like there is, and there is something to be said about like social, like IRL social interactions and how you develop as people.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there's a huge, and I see tons of hundreds of tires here, and with some moms that are agreeing with me, and I 100% get it. And like like Gen Z, I know there's probably a few in this room, but like the difference between like millennial and a Gen Z when it comes to like some social stuff, because they were born with a an iPhone in their hands versus Fake or I who are millennials and had dial-up internet when we were 13. There's a big difference in how we grew up and how we interact with people in real
Hey,
life.
we're not that old, dude. You just dated us like, I don't know, not so generously.
Hey man.
Social score.
Fake is mad at you for doing that.
I mean,
I just turned 34. It's not that old.
Oh my gosh.
But I think with
Zach's like still younger than you.
What were the?
I am.
Hey, I'm 49 here. Come on, guys.
I don't
Help
feel
me out.
old at all.
42.
I still feel like I'm 20. I don't care.
Can you
Yeah,
guys stop
you
doxing
act that way.
yourselves? Can you guys stop doxing yourself? We're
Come on
not in
now.
real life.
I feel
In the metaverse life, which is really what we're in right now, we're all hanging out in a room together, just like meeting and hanging. There is no age, so
there is no age, there is no countries,
Like,
there's no currency.
But as far as with the kids and stuff like that, I think that's gonna be. It sounds like a cool idea, but from my personal perspective, like I wouldn't want my daughter to go through that, just because like I would want her to be more interactive with other kids, so that when she does go out in the real world, it's not awkward for her.
What do you
I
think?
actually teach.
Go ahead, Scott.
I'm actually a teacher,
Hey,
and
is it recess
I've
right
taught
now?
both virtually and in class, and I do that now. And I'm just, the social aspect of this is such a huge piece, and kids need some of that. They need it. It's very difficult for them to work at home, and working with kids that work out of their house, it's just, for them, it's four walls and a computer in many ways, and that's very difficult. And we haven't had time in this culture in our society to really totally adapt to this level of social media where we interact in a room and we're engaged in that all the time. So, and I think kids still need that physical interaction with teachers and that accountability. And that's probably the hardest part, is that accountability issue with that. And then that social interaction with each other and with authority. So that's something to consider when we start thinking about putting everybody virtual in an education setting.
yeah, I agree. And that reminds me, I don't know if you guys have seen The Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix, I believe.
Yes.
And it speaks to that, and it's very important. And I know that I have friends that have a lot younger kids, and they're immersed in on social media or on the internet a lot more than we were when we were younger. And they're telling me, like, reporting back to me, like, I don't know what to do. Like, my child has anxiety around people, or my child doesn't like develop friendships like the way they're supposed to, because they're scared, or they're very emotional, or they don't know how to interact in certain situations. I don't know what to do. And then I guess after this lockdown and everything, and they had to do in online learning, it got even worse, and now they don't know what to do. They're taking them to therapy, counseling, and they're like, should I put my kid on like medication? I'm like, oh
Oh
like
my
there's like a
gosh.
huge thing that we're not addressing, and I don't know how we move forward. And now I'm starting to hear, I don't want to like go into this like deep hole again, and but like they were addressing yesterday on the radio, like, hey, with all the viruses and stuff around, they were like, well, it's either we prioritize health for everyone, or and that's what we're going to do. And if it's going to be shortcomings on learning and social interaction, that's just what we're going to have to do. And I was like, oh man, I just totally thought of my friends with the younger kids having issues already, and I'm like, well, how do we move forward?
Another issue to consider too is when we're doing it all on social media in this particular type of setting, we tend to always gravitate to people who are just like us. And so what happens is kids don't learn how to work out things with people who have differences from them. And so that's also another aspect of this you want to think about before diving completely in with not having that physical contact
around all kinds of different social groups, which happens when you're in a physical school building. And I think it's important that kids learn how to deal with those differences. Matter of fact, I say that we're struggling with that with adults now because so much of it is just online, and we're only gravitating towards people who are just like us.
Gosh, that really speaks to me, man. I've got a couple of single digit age kids as well. And that's always you can't control what other people do.
Nope.
Learn to accept that and kind of work with it. You can only control what you do. And that's always hard. And I think you're right. If somebody just grows up in that digital media environment where they only can hang out with like-minded people, then it gets really hard to just hang out with somebody that comes with different experiences and different, perspectives on things, which I really think can stunt maybe their social development.
Right.
Yes.
Scott, no, I appreciate you coming up here and talking, just an idea. Like, I think we could do a whole hour on like education and metaverse. I mean, it seems
Absolutely.
like you're about this crypto play to earn game space. I mean, I think I'm sure DeFi and I and Christine would love to talk to you on a 1 hour interview.
I'd love it.
Sure. Yeah, just let me know. I'm finishing up my school week this week, and then I'll be out for 2 weeks. And then I usually have my prep hour is, and this is Central Standard Time, is usually I'm available from about 10:40 until about noon. And then my lunch is usually about 1:45 to 2:15.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm gonna
So
friend you.
just let me know.
I'm gonna follow you right now, and then we'll talk about this offline.
Sounds good.
That would be it. Everybody's talking about the metaverse for education. And yeah, for a young age, maybe that's not right for a 6-year-old or even a 10-year-old. But by the time you get to college and you've gone through some in real life training, I can see some utility in it to where now I'm not learning about how a medication interacts with a cell. Do the
Right.
actually right next to the cell, and I can see the medication interacting with the cell and with, 2 inches from my face. So I do think there's some better education that could be about. The other thing, and I see a couple of hands up, I'll get to you guys, but the other thing I want to say is that whenever you're talking about a teacher teaching you in a metaverse, we can also always get the best teachers in this environment as well. Because before, it might be like, oh, I'm going to the local junior college and I got the guy that's doing it because he has to pay the bills, but he really doesn't really know what he's talking about, or he's even a good teacher at all. And now through the metaverse, you might be able to get one of the best teachers, not just subject matter expert, but good at explaining it in the entire world. And you could have that in the metaverse. So that might really help out as well. So there's some big advantages. All right, I got a couple hands up here. Let's go with Scrupula. What's up?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Sorry, I don't know if can you hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
All right, good. My phone's been having issues this whole morning. I'm hoping the metaverse can have some better cellular connectivity because this nonsense is pissing me off. But
cell phone service in the metaverse. That sounds interesting.
Right? Like zap, just zip it.
It's not perfect, even though you're on a data.
Right.
It's like
right.
I'm in a bad zone coverage right now. Anyways, continue.
Christine sold me a house with in a dead zone. Yeah.
But I got to get going into an account, but I wanted to give a shout out to somebody real quick. This dude is one of the most hardworking, lovable, individuals, and I've been trying to catch him, online right now, and that's Hawk Holdings. I know you hear me, boy.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I just got to give you some love, man. I love you, bro. And,
I
we got
appreciate it.
time. I'm actually down here in San Clemente. I'll come on by and see you at some point. But
sure. Give me a call. We'll go grab a beer, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I gotta give you a shout out, bro. I've been trying to catch you.
I appreciate you, and I love what you're doing too, man. Thank you for jumping on.
Of course, bud. All right, I'll let you guys get going. Appreciate it, and good luck to everybody out there.
Take care. Thanks.
It's awesome. Glad to be he called out Hawk there. Crypt Keeper, you got your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys had a space like this. It's off topic, but I wanted to know if you will be able to do like a space of NFT and women, because I was in a space yesterday just hanging out, and we started talking about women and NFTs and how they don't get as much credit as they should. And I feel like women should get just as much credit as men, because I feel like they're just as hardworking as men. So I don't know, that's just something that I thought would be dope.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not a woman, so it's hard for me to really comment on that. I mean, I'm totally for that idea, and maybe Christine would do something with that. And then I also live currently in a house with a couple of women in crypto that run women-led groups, and maybe we could all have a big party and talk about women in NFTs.
I think that would be great. We had an AMA a couple weeks ago with Taylor from an NFT project called Crypto Critters, and she was great. And yeah, if we could have some,
she's awesome.
yeah,
Actually
she
met
was.
her in New York last week.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah. She flew into town for something, and we caught up, walked through Central Park, and got to know her really well. She's really cool.
That's great. Just as amazing in real life as in.
Even better.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if we could, kind of recreate that with some other female creators of NFT projects, man, I'd be really down for that, because to me, that's one of the great things about the space is we always say it's borderless. We always say there's all these different things that, aren't around in real life. And to me, as female entrepreneurs, there's a good opportunity there to do something here that maybe that opportunity wouldn't be in real life. So I always would like to talk to female creators. I think that would be great.
Right. And a lot of the artists are for NFT projects are females too, like the Ape Kids Club. She's the woman that created all the Ape Kids Club art, and it'd be good to have her on, and a lot of the other female artists. And we don't really hear about the artists a lot, and it's crazy because
hit her up, Christine. You're
yeah,
a member.
I'm gonna try.
You're a member.
It just sucks that when you go into a space and then a woman comes on and it's just like, my voice heard, and I just go back to it being like, that could have been my daughter. Like, I always want my daughter's voice to be heard. I always want my daughter to feel like she can do anything, that somebody else could do, whether it's construction work, drive a taxi, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want her to feel like she's limited because she's a woman or she's a girl or whatever the case may be. So that's why I brought that up. And me, like, my wife is a very strong-minded woman, like a woman. She got a master's degree, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just want that to be known.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a space where we highlight women in the space, and I definitely see opportunity for women, equal opportunity for women in the metaverse, big time too, because that's where it comes to, like, it's not in physical world where we can do this or that, but I really see it borderless for sure in the metaverse, or I would like it to be.
For sure. I like it to where, we can just see somebody in the metaverse. Maybe I see Christine in her Decentraland, what did it say? Your HODL shirt that you have there. And, you want it to be to where you feel like, wow, this is somebody from another country or somebody from, far away that normally I wouldn't hear about. Maybe this is kind of the answer too about when we were talking about education, about how, if you're always at home with these four walls and a computer, you don't get other perspectives. But sometimes you do get other perspectives through, call it the metaverse, or even through something like this, where you get to hear other people that you respect, because, I respect you guys because you guys are in the crypto and NFT and financial space. But then you have a different opinion than I do on whatever topic, and you can enunciate it well, and you can say exactly, very succinctly what you think should be, how something should be done that I disagree with. To me, it might bring other perspectives, and that's where women creators and female, NFT, project, whether it be artists or whatever, they can give me a perspective that I don't think I would ever have in real life, because I don't get into too many NFT conversations in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the cool things that the metaverse could do for everyone, and like, I guess this is a me example, but when I joined the military when I was 19, I came from like a pretty suburban life, not a lot of problems, but all of a sudden I was in a bay with 55 other men, and we had females in our company, and like now I got to be surrounded by people from different walks of life. The way they talk, the way they were educated, what they believe was completely different, and it was like a very eye-opening experience for me. It made me kind of grow up a lot and figure out like, oh wow, there's different people than people that live in Michigan out there. Like the education systems in the South, or there's people from Puerto Rico or from different Arab nations that were like coming in here for citizenships, and just like hearing about where they come from, what they did growing up, all of that stuff. That'll be easily accessible in the metaverse, and it's even like kind of doable in the Discord setting or a Twitter. But I feel like connecting with those people and not knowing the avatar in front of you and where they're from, what their story is going to be a huge advantage to people learning more about different kinds of people.
A lot of times when we think about the metaverse, I don't know, whenever somebody says metaverse to you guys, do you imagine headset and VR, or just logging into a desktop?
I would like to say VR, but I can see it as both,
I think VR as well. And so my next question, and nobody really has the answer, or maybe you guys have the answer, is when does it become visually to where it's more acceptable? Because even if you looked at like the Zuckerberg, example video he had, it still looks very cartoony. Okay, it almost looks like a Nintendo Wii type of graphics. Not, but certainly we've seen other things like video games that look, realer than real life. So could you have something like that in the metaverse? And I know the answer is yes, but how far off is that? Because to me, that whenever I can sit and have a conversation with you and my brain has trouble differentiating between real life and in metaverse, to me, that's whenever things can really get going. So you have to have where people can have on a headset and still be able to, have that experience. And that headset needs to be somewhat affordable too, to make it to where, thousands upon thousands upon thousands or more can be in it.
Have you guys ever seen a movie called Player One?
Ready Player One?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
That's damn near what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah.
I'm
Like, if they
ready
made
for
it
that
like
now.
that, that'd be like crazy as hell.
I'm ready for that right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, me too. That should have been dope.
Erica, you had your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, I was going to say that I agree with you. I think Decentraland is pretty shoddy as far as graphics go, but hopefully because they're one of the top projects, they'll put a lot of money into making it look better. That's one thing, like when I play a video game or I'm in the metaverse, like I want it to be hyper realistic. Some people might like cartoony things, but I'm like hyper realistic. There is a project, if it's okay if I pin it to the top, it's called,
Go
I'm
for
not
it.
trying to shill, but it's called Wilder World, and their graphics are actually really good. So I don't know, as far as like metaverse goes and trying to put your money into projects that you believe in, I think this is going to be one of a really good contender. It looks really, really nice. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Share it up to
check
the
that
top.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
I
do.
shared
I mean,
something.
cool. I know the like Blocktopia. Blocktopia is what I'm saying on the show. Like that one to me looks amazing. It looks like it's a run on the Unreal Engine. So if there's any gamers that knows Unreal, that's them. But it looks like super like Blade Runner 2049 type vibes and like really realistic. I remember our CEO, we asked him about it, and he's just like, I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like that's like it has to be fake. And but all these big names are invested in them, and they already have a demo, for some private investors, I guess. And like I'm so excited to see that kind of stuff. But Decentraland and Sandbox, I think are the two lead runners right now.
Well, I think for like the business world, because I think
Yes.
I think Bill Gates a couple days ago said something like he just thinks we're like 3 or 4 years away from, most business meetings being conducted in the metaverse. And to me, the graphics are going to have to be there. If I'm going to have a business meeting, it doesn't need to be, 8-bit pixel art. It needs to look somewhat professional. Okay. I can't imagine, I don't know, Lucky Charms. Let's just keep on using Lucky Charms. General Mills. I don't know who's making Lucky Charms, but them having a board meeting that is a bunch of cartoon characters having the conversation. On some level, I'm not expecting, completely photorealistic, but I think there's a next level that needs to jump before the masses start adopting it. Because right now people think, oh, that's a kid's toy, this visor that you're putting on for virtual reality. If it eventually goes to something a little above and beyond to that, I think there will be a better acceptance of it.
I agree with that. Yeah, a bunch of like Mickey Mouses in a boardroom, like in that South Park episode.
I want that now. I want to see a Disney meet. You got Goofy there, you've got Mickey Mouse, you've got all the Disney characters. Maybe like Mufasa. I mean, he's probably doing something pretty big in the.
Yeah, like that would be.
That kind of reminds me of the courtroom meeting where that lawyer was a cat and he was like, I'm not a cat. Like executives like putting on an overlay on their character or an avatar and they don't know how to turn it off and it just ends up being silly.
I forgot all about that, and that is I'm gonna watch that whenever I log off of here because have you ever seen that, Rick?
I haven't.
Oh, it's like a quad 4 video, and for lack of a better term, it's a boomer that's on there. Okay, and there's a filter on there where he's got a cat head and he can't turn it off, and he was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not a cat, and he's clearly a cat. Yeah. Anyway, it will make your day better. I'm telling you. It's probably
send it to me.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I'll send it to you. But yeah, it kind of gives you an idea of in the metaverse if you don't know what you're doing, what could possibly be happening to this. But all in all, what I think the metaverse will bring is community. Okay, it's going to bring community where we'll get to, like you said, borderless not that sexes won't be there, but we'll be able to hear other perspectives from other, the other gender. We'll be able to have so many things that we wouldn't have had maybe in real life, or maybe don't have the opportunity to, that we might have. As a quick little transition here, with a little bit about what Traderverse is trying to, create, just in its own, on a desktop format, is to be able to, make the world a little smaller. If you're trading all the time, whether it's trading NFTs or stocks or crypto, have everything and all the information right in front of you. And for trading, for financial stuff, you need those opposing viewpoints as well. Because if you get in an echo chamber in your finance world and everybody tells you this NFT project is going to the moon and you don't listen to the other half of things, then you can make bad financial decisions. So with Traderverse trying to kind of bring in so many different voices, it makes it to where maybe you can start hearing some differing opinions than maybe what you might have heard originally, and you can make smarter financial decisions because you've heard both sides of it by that point.
Absolutely. And so I actually wanted to before we go today, I wanted to let everyone know it's listening. In our Discord, actually, we just started our onboarding program. So what that means is like 5 different days a week at various times. You can schedule to book yourself like a little it's like a group VC where I'll join in, or one of our other moderators will join in, and we're actually going to talk to you about Traderverse, what kind of you expect out of us as a community, like what things in Discord would make it a more enjoyable time, what features you want to see in our platform, any various questions, just to get to know each other. Because texting is, back and forth in a chat, it's great, but like actually hearing the voice of the other person on their side, that we're not ruggers, we're not scammers, and just to know who we are other than just listening to us on Spaces, I think is going to be a valuable utility. So we actually start our first one today at 3:30. So if you want to join in and just come hang out and learn a little bit more, I'm here for your guys' feedback.
So just sometimes I like to restate when I do AMAs, somebody will give an answer and I'll restate it. So I want to make sure I'm restating it right here. You're going to be able to take in like 10 or 15 people at once and kind of do like an onboarding, right? But it's a communication, a back and forth, where they're going to say, yeah, that's great, but I'd kind of like to see XYZ. And then you say, noted. But you're also going to be telling them like, okay, this is what you're wanting to do. You're wanting to do this type of research for your trading and this type of, you'll be able to kind of tell them how they'll be able to do some things within the Traderverse platform, right?
Yeah, correct. And then if you go to the channel Trader ID, you can actually select your style of trading. And so we kind of want to know where everyone's at and like what kind of information that would be useful to people who are coming to Traderverse. So,
man, that's good. That's something you only get whenever a social network is right in the very beginning, is that kind of one-on-one time with the, people that could actually not change the direction, maybe that's too strong, but take in your input and be able to, mold what Traderverse is going to become. So, you can't do that on Facebook right now. You can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely not. That'd be a lot of money.
That'd be a lot of money and a lot of time to be able to do it. So,
yeah. So, who knows? Maybe I'll spill a little alpha. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everybody, if Rick's spilling alpha, yeah, you need to pay attention. But seriously, do follow him to be able to get onto Discord, to be able to sit some time with him, to be able to kind of learn about the project. You hear me talking about it almost every day whenever we have a conversation. I'll stop what we're doing and kind of segue and to remind everybody what Traderverse is about. You can also, by the way, we have a big influx of followers come in. And if you just followed the Traderverse Twitter account over the last 24 hours, we appreciate you. Welcome. I think you'll enjoy it. It'll be a good follow for you. And then you'll also get, alerted to these spaces that happen every Monday through Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, we head over to the Discord side of things, and you can join us over there as well.
Yep. And a couple more announcements real quick is tonight at 7 p.m. we have the Boy Wonder, Nick and I, our second NFT talk. So if you're new to NFTs or you want to learn more about NFTs, in Discord, we'll be doing a nice little hour talk about NFTs, the communities of NFTs, the different projects, how to buy. And if you haven't heard Nick speak, you're missing out. He's absolutely a genius. And I'm really looking forward to that. And then on Thursday morning, we have a live trading session from, I believe, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., I believe. And that'll be in the Discord as well. So a lot of fun things happening.
A lot of fun things, a lot of education that's available to you. So yeah, make sure you take advantage of it, because if it's available and you're not taking advantage of it, well, you don't want to be kicking yourself later for saying, I should have known, because this is a good opportunity for you to do that. But we have come to the end of our hour here today. It has been fantastic speaking with every one of you, learning a little bit about what your thoughts are on the metaverse and the careers in the metaverse. And also, I really enjoyed that education talk. Scott, make sure you do talk with Smart Rick about that, because I would be very interested in kind of having a whole hour-long talk about the education system. And gosh, there's so much probably to talk about. It might have to go into more than one segment. There's
Yeah,
still...
he already DM'd me, so yeah, that's gonna happen.
Awesome. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to kind of sign out here. We will be back tomorrow, but we're going to be on the Discord side of things tomorrow. So if you're not a member of our Discord server, join on over there. You can go to traderverse.io, go to the bottom of the page, and hit the little Discord icon, and that'll take you right to the Discord server. And we're going to do a little bit of a community update for Traderverse tomorrow. And then on Friday, we're going to do a AMA with an NFT project called Fuego Friends. They are hot.
That's gonna be a hot one.
Oh, can't wait for it. Seriously, I really can't wait for it. And they've probably got a customer in because I love me. All right, guys. I have an echo all of a sudden. Weird. Anyway, all right, guys. It has been great speaking with you today. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow in Discord. Until then, peace.